If your heart ever whispered, there's something deeper than what the world shows. If your victories ever felt hollow, if the silence ever grew louder than the war, then this story is for you. Because today, we are not returning to Kurukshetra's battle cries, but to the silence that came after, to the moment when Arjuna, the mighty warrior, dropped his bow again, not in fear, but in pain, in emptiness, in longing. And what Krishna whispered to him that day was not just for Arjuna, it was for every seeker who feels lost even after winning. So stay with us till the end, let the silence speak, and if your heart feels something along the way, do like, share and subscribe to Vedic Wars. Because some stories are not just heard, they are remembered. Duryodhana had fallen, Yudhishthira was crowned, but the heart of Arjuna remained uncrowned. His hands had wielded divine weapons, but his soul now held sorrow. He looked at the throne, not with pride but pain. So many had been lost. Abhimanyu, his radiant son, reduced to a memory. Bhishma, the grandsire, his fall echoing still in his ears. Karn, the unacknowledged brother. Even Dronacharya, teacher, guide, slain. The Pandavas had won, but at what cost? And Arjun asked the question we all ask. Was it worth it? He dropped Gandiv again. The divine bow that once shone like a sunbeam now lay in the dust, heavy, silent. Then came Krishna, but not as a charioteer, not as a god bathed in aura, but as a friend, with silence. He walked slowly, robes simple, feet gentle, no peacock feather, no flute, only presence. He stood beside Arjuna and waited, not to speak, but to listen. And after a long stillness, he whispered, Arjuna, the world sees what you lost, but I see what you have become. You think Dharma is about winning, but Dharma is about walking. You did not kill Karna. You shattered confusion. You did not lose Abhimanyu. You gave this world a flame that darkness shall never forget. You did not break. You broke open. Look, Arjuna, Krishna said, see this field. It carries blood, yes, but also liberation. You fought not to defeat others, but to defeat doubt. You fought not to kill men, but to kill illusion. The cost you paid is not punishment. It is purification. This grief you feel, it is sacred. Because only those who love deeply, grieve deeply. And Arjuna wept, not in shame, but in relief. Because his tears finally had a place. Krishna smiled. Victory is not in being untouched, it is in walking even when broken. And Dharma is not a throne, it is the road. Arjuna bowed his head. He did not raise Gandiva to fight, he lifted it to walk forward, not as a warrior, but as a man who understood that the real Kurukshetra is not fought with arrows, but within. If you too have fought silent wars inside, if you've walked your dharma and still feel lost, then know this, you are not alone. Arjuna was not weak, he was human, and Krishna still walks beside those who walk the path of dharma. Subscribe to Vedic Wars, like, share and comment, because somewhere between courage and confusion, we all meet Krishna. That night, Arjuna sat beside the Saraswati river. The moonlight touched the ripples like the fingertips of departed souls. He thought of Draupadi, her silent strength. He thought of Nakula and Sahadev, so brave yet always in the shadows. He thought of the children who would never hear their father's voice again, and the mothers who would wait at empty doorways. Krishna sat beside him, watching the stars, and then he said, softly, Arjuna, grief is not a sign of guilt, it is a sign of grace. When your heart hurts after doing what is right, that means your soul is alive. Never be afraid of your tears, for in every drop, Dharma finds its mirror. This story may be from Dwapara Yuga, but its heartbeat is eternal, because even today there are battles without bloodshed, there are wars within homes, hearts and hopes. And there are Arjunas among us, who stand tall outside but crumble within, who fight for truth yet sleep with sorrow, who win and still wonder, why do I feel empty? And there are Krishnas too, in the quiet voice of a friend, in the verse of a Gita, in the strength that comes after the breakdown. This story is not ancient, it is alive. Let us remember that Dharma is not about always feeling right. It is about doing right even when it feels wrong. That victory is not in applause, but in alignment with our truth. And Krishna, he never promised a painless path. He promised presence. In every cry unheard, in every battle unseen, in every bowed head, he is there, watching, whispering, walking with you. If this story touched a place words usually cannot, if you felt Arjuna within you, then carry this message. Share it, comment your thoughts. Let others remember their inner warrior too. Subscribe to Vedic Wars for more stories that stir the soul. And never forget, between confusion and clarity, between despair and dharma, Krishna waits, and your heart already knows the way. As Arjun walked beside Krishna, a breeze stirred the dust, and for a moment he saw them, the warriors. Karna, his face calm, eyes full of sacrifice. Bhishma, his body fallen, but his heart still blessing. Abhimanyu, young, fierce, smiling with a soul far older than his years. Each one a lesson, each death not the end, but a doorway. He turned to Krishna and asked, "Will I meet them again?" Krishna's answer was a smile. "Where there is dharma, there is no death, only return." "Arjuna," Krishna said, "imagine a small lamp. If the wind blows strong, it flickers. Sometimes it dims, but if the flame is rooted deep, it never dies. You are that flame. This world may shake you, grief may cover your glow, but your light, your inner dharma, will always find a way back. So never be ashamed of breaking, for even broken lamps still give light." And so Arjun walked on, not to a battlefield, but to a life of quiet power. No garlands, no drums, just the soft sound of steps that had learned peace. And maybe, just maybe, this is the real Mahabharata. Not the story of how the war was won, but how a warrior found his way back to his heart. If this touched something silent within you, share this story. Let others know that they are not alone in their questions. Comment below if you too have felt like Arjuna, and let the voice of Krishna find them through you. Subscribe to Vedic Wars, where every story is a mirror to your own. Jai Shri Krishna.